What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Sports Report podcast with me, Marco Hernandez. I am joined by Juan Hernandez and Alex De Leon. We are all resident Bears fans, and we actually I don't know about resident anymore with with somebody, but this is a special preview podcast for the Chicago Bears upcoming 2025 season. Been having conversations about this pre-show, about what we're looking forward to, guys. I kind of have a little bit of a show breakdown, but then we can kind of take this however wherever we want to go. Um, let's start off. I know what Juan's favorite subject is always preseason football. So let's start with that, guys. What did you guys see? What did you guys take away? It is only preseason, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. But what do you guys think that you guys saw?
That's exactly right. Based off of what I saw on X, we're looking pretty good. Um, no, but in all seriousness, I think. Um, I think there was some good and some bad. Obviously, the first game we didn't really see any starters, so that was a little upset about the reports that were coming out, and I was like, I just wanted to hear some positive news, and I think we got that in that game. So from Caleb, from the offense, we looked really good on those first couple of drives. So overall, I'm optimistic. We obviously got a good play caller in now with Ben Johnson. So, yeah, I don't want to take too much out of preseason. I think there's certain things that we can take out, basically like how the tight ends are going to be used, how Colson Loveland's going to be used versus Cole Kmet. So I think there's some things to take away, but overall, I wouldn't look into it too much.
What I would say is, I know it's hard, but we all say preseason. It's hard to take away real stuff from this. What I can say, what I've seen is a lot of more comfortability with Caleb Williams in the offense. A lot more. There seems a lot more chemistry within the squad. It feels like everyone. There's a certain thing that comes from believing, and it looks like Ben Johnson brought that to the team. There's the confidence that you see just Caleb being able to do these passes preseason. That's why it's hard, but he just looks comfortable. Comfortable with who he has around him, his personnel. The Ben Johnson being the genius that he is. Hopefully, it works out. I just feel like what we can't take away is comfortability, the chemistry, and just how there's seems confidence.
Yeah, of course, like there's always confidence, especially when you watch those first two drives versus Buffalo. Um, I know me and Juan were super excited, and Alex, you were like, "Man, I don't know, I want to wait till preseason or the season starts." So, which is understandable, you know. Um, but however, all that optimism and excitement, I believe, in that second preseason or that last preseason game against Kansas City, that was rough to watch, and I don't know how much you guys watched of it. It was
Not much.
not much, yeah.
Not much. Not much. I think it was probably a good humbling experience. Bring us back down to earth after looking so good against Buffalo. KC looked like they were in midseason form, but again, I don't know. I'm not taking too much stock into much that happened in the preseason. I'm just looking forward to the season starting, and there's optimism, right? That's all we really want as Bears fans is just like some hope, and I think that's what we're gonna get.
Alex.
I'm ready to see him on the field. I'm ready for the season to start. I'm ready to see some real football. But I'm confident that we're gonna start off on the right foot. Just like Minnesota being week one, I feel like that's gonna be like. I like that. That's like the confidence booster we can get right away. We take down the division rival, like conference rival like that, with Vikings. I think it's all the confidence that you need to see, especially when you go out there and like humble. Like, you should.
So that's interesting. So let's kind of talk about now. Let's get the preseason out of the way because, like I said, we can only get so much from it. We only see limited game time from the actual starters, and there's not much like game planning going into it, right? So we're not gonna get a lot. I don't think we're gonna take a lot away from the preseason, other than little things. Um, However, reports from training camp have consistently been about the starting left tackle position, and that's been a huge talking point, especially in the city, especially around just the media around the city, um, and from the fans as well. Like, where do you guys think we stand in terms of left tackle? Because they seem to have thought they have figured out that situation. You know, they obviously still have Braxton Jones. We still have Karan Amagaji, who they drafted last year, but they're both coming off injuries. And then they drafted in the second round the offensive tackle from Boston College, Ozzie Trapillo, who was a right tackle in college, and then they thought they could put him over to the left side. And it has not sounded good in regards of Ozzie Trapillo being moved over to the left side. And now the question is, who is going to start on that left side of the offensive line? Is it Braxton Jones? Is it going to be the undrafted rookie from last year, Theo Benedict, who just came out of nowhere? Like, there's real concern for that position, especially the left tackle, the blindside spot of your quarterback. What is your guys' level of concern with that position currently?
I feel like we did add pieces in the offseason. Poles went out there and added a lot to the offensive line. Left tackle is, like you said, it's been an issue. Been talking about in camp. I just feel like I do have trust in Braxton Jones. It's just the injuries. I feel like we did enough to bring in some help in the offseason, which I hope that it was enough. I feel like he did. I think Foles did. He went out of his way to prioritize that offensive line this offseason.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the key point is everything around Braxton, right? I think like even the last few years, Braxton's been solid. You know, he's like I mean he's like a fourth, fifth rounder. Like we'll take that all day, right? Is like he's a solid starter when he's healthy. I think that's the biggest question. But like if you're looking at the line right now, you got Tooney, you got Drew Dahlman, you got Jonah Jackson. Like we are in a good spot. Like he's probably the fifth worst, of those starters, and I think like if that's the case, then I think we're in a good spot, right? I think everything around him, that interior line is going to be a little bit, obviously, a lot better than last year it was. So I think it's not as much of a concern for me. I don't really buy into it being a competition. I think they're trying to make sure they've been watching Braxton's reps, right? I think they want to make sure he's healthy week one. I don't really buy any of the Theo hype. I think that was just again managing Braxton's reps, but I fully expect week one for him to be out there and for us to be pretty confident in him. Until we see otherwise, or if he gets hurt, then that's a different question. But like, I think right now I'm feeling pretty confident in this overall.
Yeah, for me personally, I believe that. I mean, yeah, like Braxton Jones. When you look at it in a vacuum, he was a fifth round pick, and when you can get someone in the fifth round that could be your starting left tackle for what now this is his fourth season, I think that's a pretty. You put that in the win column, right? However, I think with left tackle being such an important position, and a lot of um, the problems that the Bears have faced, especially with defending or protecting Caleb, has been in the interior of the offensive line, and Poles has done a good job in fortifying that with Dahlman, with Jonah Jackson, with Joe Tooney. Now you're like, okay, you've kind of almost neglected the left tackle position in a way. I know Braxton Jones, he's in my opinion, he's like serviceable. You know, he's just a tick above replacement level at left tackle. So if he can stay healthy, I don't think there's going to be necessarily a problem because I think Ben Johnson can scheme it like ways to protect Braxton Jones, help him, get some chips with Joe Tooney, slide the line away from Braxton Jones. So I think we have a coach that can offensively can alleviate some of that pressure on Braxton Jones. But personally, there's a little bit of there's that little bit in the back of my mind is like, okay, please don't get Caleb like blindsided. Like I think back to when Justin Fields, I don't know if it was Braxton Jones again, but I think back to when Justin Fields got absolutely leveled from behind him and he did not see it coming, obviously, because it was his blind side. So I just hope.
Braxton, though, man. He had no help.
No, it's true. I mean, the rest of the line was terrible. Like, there's a
Yeah,
reason why.
I think there's, as fans, we're a little bit hesitant always because we know what the worst outcome is and usually ends up being. Um, but I think some of that hopefully too is improved by Caleb's decision making and processing times too, right? I think again, it feels good to say that we have a play caller that's going to put everybody in the best position to succeed. So I think hopefully, we don't see it too much of that because, Caleb's going to be quicker with the ball. The interior of the line is going to be way better. Like, there's a lot of things that are pointing to it not being as bad. But again, I think it is definitely the weak link of the line, I will say.
Well, we can move on from one side of the offensive, one side of the line to the other side of the line, where I think most fans and us, we talked about the weaknesses of this team has been the offensive and defensive lines, especially going into the offseason. Ryan Poles added Deo Dangbo, Grady Jarrett, and drafted Turner. Shamar Turner? Yes. Shamar Turner to bolster up the defensive line. Is there enough on that defensive line, enough pass rush specifically, to create, to just have a better defense, to create like pass rush opportunities to help the secondary, who the secondary has been banged up. There's still talk about whether or not Jalen Johnson's going to start week 1. Kyler Gordon's also dealing with an injury, so there's injuries in the defensive backfield. In your guys' opinion, have we done enough to secure the defensive line and be able to generate the pass rush that we need if we want to become a top 10 defense?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm hopeful. I think it really depends on some of those young guys taking a big step, right? I think you nailed it. Where like um, we signed Dio for that reason, right? To be his best year should be ahead of us, or like we signed him because we saw potential in him. We got Grady Jarrett to beef up the interior line. I think we still got Javon Dexter. Like there's talent, and then obviously the big thing is Montez Sweat, right? Like when he first came here, he was
Man,
he was great. He was great. And then he kind of tailed off last year, right? He
let me
definitely was not.
let me tell you,
Definitely
man.
was not, yeah,
Let
yeah.
me
Go for
let
it.
me tell you, man. Montez Sweat, he's not being paid anymore because of the new. Because obviously Trey Hendrickson just got a big deal. Miles Garrett got a big deal. T.J. Watt got a big deal. He's no longer being paid in like the top 10 of pass rushers, but the amount of capital we gave up a second round pick, gave him a long term deal. I think he's about 26 million a year. This is the year, man. We need to see some production. We need to see some
Yeah.
production from him this year.
No, I 100% agree. He needs to be the reason why our pass rush is so good, right? And then hopefully again we got an awesome defensive coordinator in Dennis Allen. So like I think there is potential for the line, but it might just take a little bit. We were talking about preseason. Unfortunately, that's like one thing we didn't see in preseason, right? Was much of a pass rush, especially on that last game. Mahomes just had so much time, so I am a little concerned about that, but we're also not going to be playing the Chiefs' offensive line every week. So I think there's opportunity, and hopefully with the scheme fit and with the players that we brought in, we should be in a much better place.
For being honest, we're just tiptoeing around the fact that Micah is in the year, but with the secondary being how it is, I feel like there's no need to talk about Micah, man. It's a fun pipe dream. It's cool. It's a great idea. It'd be Khalil Mack all over again, and it would feel amazing, bro. We woke up that random Tuesday in September and almost cried, bro. Like it was amazing, but bro, with that secondary, it's just not ideal. It's not realistic. I feel like there's bigger issues that ideally that would help us more in the long run. We did add to the defense a little bit on the line. I feel like we were good last year. I feel like if we focus on that secondary, I know we have some guys, and it is up for the young guys to step up. But I feel like we are tiptoeing around the fact that Micah. But I feel we have the opportunity. I feel like it could be. Dude, I would love it, but
So
I
we're
don't know.
not in the Micah trade for Micah boat then.
I feel like there's bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of the same way. I feel like obviously I would be very excited if we did go that route, but I don't know. It's just kind of a little different from even when we got Khalil because it almost felt like that was the missing piece, right? In that moment, like we had
Uh, I
we
don't.
had enough. We had enough. I think whether you agree with it or not, at the time Ryan Pace thought that was the right move. They had all their eggs in the basket with Trubisky and Nagy, and here it's like year one of Ben Johnson, and who knows if he's even we don't know what Caleb's gonna be still. Like we have hopes. I think if this was happening next year and we came off like the 8-win, 9-win season, then 100% you're like go all in. Like we clearly have the infrastructure here, but I still think there's a lot of moving pieces that I just don't know. And we're paying a lot on defense right now. Like we have a lot of pretty big salaries on there, and I'm like, if we're not sold on who we have now, then I don't know how we can potentially drain the resources for Micah.
Drain
So
resources like that would be generational money to a defensive player who've never done that. That would be bread.
so my argument against, or rather argument for trading for Micah Parsons, right, is that you say this is different from when we traded for Khalil Mack, and that was Nagy. That was also Nagy's first year. That was Matt Nagy's first season. He won Coach of the Year because we went 12-5. The defense carried the team that year because of Khalil Mack and because of Akeem Hicks, and we had um, Kyle Fuller. We had dudes that were great that year. Um, it almost feels exactly like if you ask me, it almost feels exactly the same. Now, the only difference I think what we have between the when they traded for Khalil Mack in 2018 and now is that I feel like we have more optimism about what Caleb can be rather than what Mitch was. And I feel like it's a different situation with Matt Nagy, where he was kind of the offensive coordinator underneath Andy Reid, who Andy Reid was the one playing, calling the plays in Kansas City. He was Andy Reid's offense. This time we're getting the dude that actually played his offense with Ben Johnson. So I feel like we have a lot more trust in what the offense is going to be. So and people never know, right? Like we never know when an NFL team is one piece away. Why not just make the team better? Now, I'm not out here saying let's go trade everything for him. I think there is a limit to what you can trade. Um, I've been hearing a lot about like two first round picks max. Like, and if they want a player, maybe a player. But anything more than two first round picks, and I just don't think Dallas is going to take that, which is insane because you also have to offer Micah Parsons like $40 million.
Right, right.
Um, but they also offered Khalil Mack a huge deal at the time. Like that was also what
I
the
don't think
Bears.
Khalil Mack was two first round picks though.
It was it was a first round. It was two first round picks and a second round, or I don't remember exactly. I think it was a first round pick and 2 seconds
That's
actually.
what I thought it was. Two
Yeah.
seconds
Okay.
in the first.
But I mean, can we?
Something like that, I could still see that being acceptable, bro. I would see that. Like, if we're playing devil's advocate, bro, yes, Micah's generational. Yes, Micah's. But let's see, is he generational or is he generational enough to get paid and lose all this draft capital? Like, it really goes down to that. Like, are we that desperate? Is Micah him? Is Micah the guy? Is he the final piece? Like Beto said, though, like, a lot of moving pieces, bro, to commit to such a it would be, I mean, like cornerstone of our foundation. It would be Micah, it would be Caleb, and it would be like Ben. But like, are we willing to commit to that? Like, lose all this
Yeah.
draft capital and then lose all that money that
We literally,
one
like you
player.
said, though, Marco. It feels similar, and it's like, are we gonna do the same exact thing again? So then in 6 years, if Caleb doesn't work, then we're right back to picking first overall.
But isn't this the time that? Okay, so this is why I say only like 2 first round picks versus 3, right? Like I'm willing to give 2 because Caleb is only his second year, so we have Caleb for the next 3 years at least, right? This year and the next. So if Caleb doesn't work out, you still have an out. You still have a chance to potentially get a first round pick quarterback
It is, but it's the
eventually.
rookie. It's the rookie contract. Like, we're up.
Yeah, it's you.
We're
You
two
have
points.
you have the money now, right? Because you're not paying Caleb Williams 50, 60 million. What if he's good, that's what he's going to be paid.
I just don't want to get stuck into this. I guess I'm just fearful of getting into. I'm not saying Caleb is not him, right? Like I'm not saying. I think it's
Classic Bears fan.
something, bro. You know what's gonna end up happening? Yes, we get this generational talent on defense. Our defense becomes top tier, and then for whatever reason, our offense is not good. So then in 2, 3 years, it's our defense carrying our offense like it has to.
But you're sounding like a fan. Don't let the past invade your thinking. Like you're sounding like a fan, which is fair, that has gone through Matt Nagy, that has gone through um Mark Trestman.
I think it's fair to say our floor is not. Ben Johnson has lowered our floor immensely. So I feel like Beto is going in with a lot of. I am too. Like, it's just like we always get screwed over, bro. It's Bears. It's what happens.
Oh, see that there's the thinking, man. No, there.
But
That's what I'm talking about. You're a hurt Bears fan.
I
It's
know
okay.
Johnson, bro. He gives us this confidence, this floor where it's like I don't see us losing. I mean, I don't see us winning less than 8 games, bro.
Okay. Well, while we're on the subject of Ben Johnson, let's expand on that topic a little bit more now. Um, we got the pretty girl, right? The pretty girl chose us for once, right? They actually tried to go, look, hey, 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 hey. Okay, think of the Bears as this insecure, low confidence dude, right? That is always going up to girls and being like, I don't know if they really want us, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go take what I can get. So
Yes.
so then this time they said, you know what? On the table, I'm going to go and try for the best available, and they got the best available. Right? We all clamored for Ben Johnson.
Yeah. Yes. As you were referencing, we are hurt Bears fans, and we have never seen a hire like this. Okay, like it doesn't matter. Like you can say Nagy, you can say Trestman. Like we tried getting the offensive guy,
I got
but we
shivers.
have never seen, like you mentioned, the top tier candidate unanimously by everybody. Even last year, we have never seen that guy choose the Bears. So yeah, I'm super excited. Like Junior said, I think our floor has been raised, right? Like I don't think our offense is going to be less than bottom half of the league, right? Like I think we're always going to be at least above, we're going to be average or above average, and hopefully we hit our ceilings. But I think now, like with that play caller, we should feel a lot of optimism and be like, this is a new era in Chicago Bears football, and I hope that's true. Especially with the talent that we have on offense, because we obviously have a lot of playmakers that I think will make life easier for Caleb. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I think I'm ready for the Ben Johnson. I'm just ready for competence, right? After having to deal with flus for the last couple of years, I think it's going to be so refreshing to see somebody that like is innovative.
Timeouts.
Exactly. exactly.
What do you think, Alex?
I just like I said, bro. It feels like we have a smart teacher instead of always having like you're in school and you like, oh, this is just not smart, but I don't feel like I'm gaining any knowledge. We have Ben Johnson, and I feel like it's just like everyone gains like in a video game, bro. They gain like plus attributes on everything, bro. Just because how they know how his offenses look, how explosive it can look, how that's what we've been missing. Surround that with Caleb and all the weapons. I feel like he's gonna boost us to another level that we've been needing, and it's about time.
What do you, Marco? Let me ask you. What are you most looking forward to on offense from BJ?
We love BJ. Um, what I'm looking forward to is just the whole operation. Like, make it make sense. Like, have have a clear game plan, stick to that game plan, and make things easier for the players, specifically Caleb Williams. I think last season the problem was that he had, I think, um, no, it was Justin that said that he had too many like voices. But I think even with Caleb, I think there was just too many. I mean, he went through three offensive coordinators or two offensive coordinators last season. Like, your offense coordinator got fired, your head coach got fired, and then your quarterback's coach became your head coach in a matter of like 3 weeks. So like, just some stability. I'm excited to watch. I'm gonna say Colston Loveland, okay, but
Just a quick. So what's up with K Man? Is he just got the 1-1?
no,
Is it a two tight end?
it's gonna. I expect Ben Johnson to run a lot of 12 personnel, so two tight ends. Um, so you're probably gonna see DJ and Rome together a lot. Um,
DJ Roman, two tight
and
ends.
then two tight ends, yeah, because we're gonna see Caleb under center a lot, which we didn't see um, for that long or for that much last season. Um, but I'm excited to see how they use Colson Loveland because I am still. I remember when we drafted him, I was pretty upset. Like, we need a defensive lineman, we need an offensive tackle. I've enjoyed watching him in a little preseason action that we did get to see, and apparently he's beloved in the building as well. So, and Kvet has,
Ben Johnson loves him.
yeah. So if he better come out like Sam Laporta did. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'm believing in him, but if you're gonna draft a tight end, what 10? Was he 10 or 12 overall? He better be Sam Laporta. He better be.
I think I saw. I forgot what podcast I was listening to, but they were mentioning like the difference between Tyler Warren, who was another tight end we were like closely linked with, and Colson Loveland, and they were like, Tyler Warren's obviously he's probably a better pure catcher, like on the ball type receiver, but Colson Loveland allows you to do way more on offense because he's so versatile, right? He's going to be he does have that potential to be a really good catcher, but he's also a very good blocker. And I think like all around, he probably just fits Ben Johnson's offense a little bit more. And yeah, I agree. I'm super excited to see that because I think that's going to unlock hopefully like a new dimension that we honestly haven't really had in a while. So.
Okay, guys. Before we wrap up here, um, I want to hear you guys' season prediction. I think you guys already seen what my prediction was, record prediction. I have them going 10-7. I'm not gonna lie, maybe like 9-8. But I'm being optimistic. I'll stick with 10-7. I want to hear your guys' prediction for this season. What do we got? What do we got?
I'm right around there, bro. I'm 8 to 10. 8 to 10, I'm happy. 10, I'm probably a great season. Like I'm probably happy. I'm probably on the top of the world. 8, we might have stressed me out on the way there, but I'm still happy. But I feel like we're right around there. 9 wins, 10 wins, bro. I think I want to say this offense is more than capable of that. It's now just the fact of getting it all together and it all molding together and working as a unit. But yeah, bro, 10 wins, I can see it. You saw the schedule. It's not a hard one in my opinion. That's why I feel like it could be a good confidence builder for everyone all around. And Johnson especially.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're right in that range. I'll just say 9-8 because I think that feels right for this team. Um, I think if we get a couple of lucky breaks, if our cornerback pays attention when the Hail Mary's being thrown, we might be able to
Call some timeouts.
call some timeouts. It's not a high bar that we're not going to touch. But it could be 10, it could be 11, right? I think
12.
we're right there. We're right there, and I just want to see overall improvement. I want to be competitive in every game. I think the exciting thing about this season is we're going to get better as the year goes along because I think it's going to take a little bit to get into a swing. But I think that second half of the year we're going to be like, all right, let's go. Like this is our QB, this is our coach, and this is our team.
Yeah, hopefully, because that second half of the schedule is pretty tough comparative to the beginning of the season. So we need to be able to get be better towards the end. And all I'm hoping for is, like you said, we look better towards the end in the beginning because that's how it's better to finish well than to end well, I guess. But all right, guys, I appreciate you guys coming on. First game of the season is a little less than 12 days, 13 days away. At home against the Minnesota Vikings, we're gonna bear down and beat the JJ McCarthy led Vikings. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's settle down on all the Caleb. Everybody worried about Caleb. JJ hasn't thrown a pass in the NFL yet. Like, let's relax. He's coming to Soldier. Come on.
let's go.
No one's really drafting Justin Jefferson this year, right?
All right, y'all.